Holy moly, g'day coach. Holy moly, g'day coach.
I think we do, right? Can someone please confirm that we actually I could listen to it? Hello? Can someone please? Ah, great. Okay. Alright, so today, guys, we are going to actually have a look at some fun games, was the hope. I'm just going to blitz through this game. This is not the topic of today's stream, but I wanted to check what was going on. So this is Divya Deshmukh against Faustino Oro.
They'll be here in 2 minutes. I'll go it.
What are you doing, sweet?
They're going to Nicole's for coffee and I'm coming.
Come here. This shirt is very cute. What is the logo on it?
Tommy?
Come here closer. What is it?
I think it's the old Tommy one. Cause it.
Show it to Mama. She will love it.
She did say.
You look very pretty. Comb your hair. Have fun. Close the door, please. All right. Oh wow! So we are actually that's very cool. Look at that. So it started off as a Oh, Sapch's in the house.
Hello everyone.
It started off as a weird, I don't even know, ratey slash whatever story. Thank you, Seb. And then it transitioned into a close Sicilian. That's very cool. So let's look at it from Faust's perspective, because this is a setup I often struggle against with black, so I want to know what's cooking. Rookie 1. Interesting. There is a strategy here, which I don't think is playable, but I want to show you where white goes, but that doesn't work with the knight on c4, I just realized. Where we go knight g5 with the idea of f4, f5. And if h6, then you drop back here and you still go f4, f5. But that never works with the knight on c3. 4 rather, excuse me, because of the d5 central break is there. Okay, hence rook e1. Makes perfect sense. Bishop f4. So I guess if e5... How can black avoid here, guys, this awkward pin? Can anyone tell me what the correct response is to e5? Yes, indeed. This is Fausti against the Divya. Knight g4, but then we're losing the dark squared bishop. That's not playable. I dislike knight d5 for the same reason. Exactly, you take with the knight. That's the clever move order here, and then you get to eliminate the bishop. So knight takes, bishop takes. I missed knight f7 though. Ironically, this is good for black. Hey, Philae, take and queen d7, and yeah, we're good. We're good actually with the f file and whatnot. Yeah, all right. So bishop f4 played, rook c8, I guess. h4. Rook e8, yep. Hello everyone, hello. Take, this was inevitable, and knight d5. That's also very handy now to block the pin and to hit the bishop with the tempo. Queen g4. Knight d4. Knight f6, very good chess. Yep. Alright, I slightly prefer this with black. But yeah, it's a tough call still, I reckon. Queen e2. The knight on c4 is really a monster. Yeah, this position is very, very much in balance. Petrosian, I'm very happy for you, buddy. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Check this out, guys. So knight d6 played. Rook d1 played, rook d8 played, knight a5 played. So this, in my book, could very well be interpreted as a draw offer if after rook here the knight goes back. However, there is something sensational cooking here, guys. Knight c6 is a move. Who can tell me the reason why knight a c6 is a move here? Ouch! Not my game. Divya Deshmukh in the white trunks against Fausti in the black trunks. Taylor, not at the moment, unfortunately, buddy. So if rook takes, then pawn c4. That is brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. And what's even more brutal is that it's not that we are winning an exchange. No, the queen is trapped. Oops. Oopsie daisies. So Fausti had to take. I think this was blunder. I think, and in fact, when he played knight d6, I had a feeling that this queen is a bit rough now, and yeah, so he had to take c3 and then queen b3. But this looks, with the bishop and the discovery here, this should be nasty. And this is where Divya went wrong, according to the engine. She should have taken a7. Here. White to move and win. I don't know if I would have played this, but the idea is take and knight g6. It's still not quite clear. It's still not quite clear. It's incredible how these kids play so complex games. Because after take rook e8, we're still chessing here big time. We're still chessing here. White is better, but yeah, it's still. Hello, Dusting. Thank you, thank you. All right, back to the game. So knight a c6, tuck tuck, queen b3, rook b1, tuck, tuck tuck, knight g6. So she did this without winning the pawn on a7, or rather trading these two off. For a human mind, it's very difficult to understand why this is so bad for white in comparison. But apparently here after queen d4, black is doing fine. Because a bishop here, then we have knight g4. That's nice. That's very nice. Are these juniors? Well, Fausti is, what, 11 years old? And I think Divya is barely more than 18, so technically yes. I mean, Fausti can hardly reach the table, right? So he still needs to sit on cushions. So juniors is almost like a, you know, no, he's not junior yet. Infant. And here he goes. Pulling ahead. Good evening, Strobex. Ouch. Legit in the house too. Welcome in, welcome folks, welcome. And everyone, hello to the YouTube as well. Knight f2 dub check. Only move for black. Let's see who is still awake. I didn't mean to analyze this game, but boy, this is such a banger. Mind you, the game that I have for us in store is even better. Oh, Z Nation!
Crazy game against Navarra I.
Yeah.
That guy is pretty good, Kappa.
The Navarra game, guys, is a reference to my latest YouTube video, which I released a couple of hours ago. Rook f8. Hello, queen is hanging. Male Normand in YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Don't forget, guys, to smash the subscribe button, please. Queen g4. That's brave, but what if I take on f2 with anything at all? We're dead. Well, that's actually a good question, Philae. Z-Nation needs to come up with the goods first. Well, I would just stop with when I start playing, period. When the goodies start kicking in over the board, we will talk. So knight d3 is the move that we are all missing, guys. A beautiful Zwischenzug, as the German would say, or the highly educated French, rather. With the idea, of course, that if take, then take. So, here is how the game goes. Tuck, tuck. Now, the pigs on the sevis are deadly.
Hey, Agent Smith, did you miss me?
Yes, I did miss you. Thank you very much for the 500 titties. And according to the cruel engine, this position is dead even. Like, completely level. And in fact, there are about 4 moves that hold the draw here, or the equality. And it all comes down to the fact that the Black King is utterly out of play and the backrank mate is constantly on. The sexiest one of all is Rook E7. And neither rook can be captured because of the backrank Matutski.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah, so there is that. And also note how, by the way, the knight is completely paralyzed here. So, for example, after rook e7, can't go, can't go, can't go. Look at that. Cannot go to any of these squares. That's insane. If you play e3, I reckon I can even just go king f3. But this now might be playing for a win for white. So you need to be very careful here. Now black has to play only moves to not to lose. Like king h8 is the only move that doesn't lose by force. So yeah, you got to tread carefully here. Trade was still okay. But now rook e7 is the move. Yeah, she went after the wrong pawn. This was the one to be hunted. So what black wants to do now, and this is quite difficult to hold, I think is knight d7, knight f8, rook e6 and pick off the g6 pawn. And if I can pull that off, that's gonna be rough. Matteo, I did look at the Gookie game and it was very, very cool, but also very complex. And I wanted to pull out something a little bit more educational. And so in that spirit, we are going to look at a game from the challenges from a round ago or two. Because I really, really like that one. So let's see how he pulls off the... Oh, that is already winning. Wow, and then he wins the 2-on-1. So this is the situation where knight is better than bishop because the pawns are on one side, yeah? Oh, Zina Sion with the 5, gifted. Shish kebab. You legendario human. Thank you. But according to the cruel engine, it's still a draw. I would like to make a note here though that Divya would have been very upset losing this. And understandably so. Because she has had multiple draws. Okay, so let's see what happened. Check, in, check. Bring the knight back, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so you can see how Fausti constantly keeps on avoiding the trade of the minors because the rook ending is dead draw, right? Whereas if you keep the... Optimally what you would want to do in this endgame is to trade rooks. That is black's dream scenario, and white's dream scenario is to trade the minors. So it's actually very interesting to see how they are dodging the respective trades. That's nice. Now the knight is coming to f6. If bishop d4, then we're going to g5. Note that here we can trade and get a h-pasa, and even that is likely going to be a draw. And so Fausti avoids that too. And forces the king gradually further and further back. Very impressive play. Yeah, now g5 is gonna come. Now I'm beginning to get worried for white here, although the engine still claims equality. Yeah, now that the king got chased away from the king side pawn, this feels really bad. G5. Wow. Hey, Brazy. What did you think of Joker retiring from AO? Who is gonna win? Well, the latter is an easier question to answer. Sinner is going to absolutely waltz through that final. And as far as Djokovic's retirement, I mean, if the dude is hurt, the dude is hurt. What can you do? He so badly wants the 25th. There is no way he would have retired if he had seen the faintest glimmer of hope to play. But I think even realistically, if you consider the injury that he retired because of, if that injury was just, you know, not really that serious, if he had played that match and if he had won that match, by then that injury would have absolutely wrecked him to the final and would have been a waste of time. Now, why do you think, guys, that Divya resigned here? What was the trigger reason? Well, that's, I guess, a tautology. What was the trigger? Why now? Like, we fought on, and now all of a sudden, there is a resignation. Why? What is so decisive about this 98 move? Who could verbalize the reason for surrendering exactly here? No one? Off. Right, so the reason, guys, is because the bishop is on. Oh, Sitwa, thank you so much, buddy. Cheers. I'm very happy that you like my courses. Chuck some reviews for me then. So the idea is that white can't avoid the trade of the minors, which now is the winning idea. The winning idea for black, because let's say we go here after trade, white cannot do anything at all to prevent the 2-on-1 winning, because the king has been cut off 7,000 kilometers away from the main battlefield. It's an absolute kindergarten win now. Hey, Courtney. So this was the intro to today's stream. Now we are going to go into the real deal. And the real deal, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the battle that was fought between Erwin Lami and Divya Deshmukh. So Divya again, and Divya again, unfortunately, on the receiving end of some very serious bullying. Are we ready for an absolute epic chess battle? Because ready or not, here we go. So, this game is an absolute belter. Started off as a Catalan, and it ended up being a Catalan. One of the most topical mainline Catalans. This is all theory. Theory. So the idea of bishop d2, instead of developing the knight, is that white wants to play bishop a5 and create this awkward pin And then try to reroute the knight from d2 to b3 to shut down c5 forever. Did I miss a follow of some sort? I didn't see who it was. Thank you, anyway. Yeah, Male Normand has followed. Thank you. I just found it. Yeah, that doesn't exist, man, unfortunately. Right, so rook a7. Rook c1. As you can see, the battle is being fought for the c5 break for both sides. One to stop it, one to try to carry it out. Bishop d5. Queen e3. Obviously, if I play queen c2, that's a draw offer because of here. And I don't really think that queen d1 is playable on account of take and take. Oh no, actually, yes. Yes, that's correct. Take, 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 and I don't have bishop e3 because there is queen trade. That is actually pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And so, after bishop d5 came queen e3, the only move to dodge the constant bullying of the bishop. And now if knight g4, then queen d3, and now there is no bishop e4. So white has managed to outsmart black. Nonetheless, knight g4 played. Male Normand, you are a legend, buddy. Booyah! Queen d3 played. And so, yeah, that's exactly right. We often get away with it, not here. And here Divya played bishop c4. And of course this move is an extremely provocative one, because where do we move the queen? Right? Like, this is a question that we ask and we know the answer. So what on earth is cooking here? Suck the rock! So yeah, the interesting thing here is that black essentially provoked this exchange sack, right? Because you can't do anything else. And I don't care how much of this move is theory or not theory or whatever is cooking here. I would absolutely despise to play this with black. We have got split pawns, an utterly ugly rook. White has the two bishops. It's just not fun. It looks like the polar opposite of what I would consider to be fun in chess. Now, what transpired from here, though, was an extremely instructive game of chess. So let's see how Erwin Lami converts this into a victory. Not bad. Watch this. Knight f6. Knight c3, no brainer. Now we also have access to center. Knight d7, no worries. Actually here I think it's important that we play the right move. Not an easy or obvious one at all. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not e4. In case you are pulling the trigger already. If you are getting ready to pull the trigger. It's a super positional kind of shutting down everything type of move. The one that Petrosyan and Karpov fans would cherish to see. So, what is it? Queen c6 is right idea, wrong execution. I'm trying to think about what's wrong with it because it looks very healthy. Yeah, I can't see what's wrong with Queen c6 to be honest. I reckon I would kick you out with Knight b8. The doghead friend is on the money. b4, folks. Shutting down c5 forever. b4. Queen b8. Immediately asking the question about the pawn. a3. And now we have accomplished a very, very solid bind. Like this pawn is never going to come here. a5 is going to be met by b5. It is absolute sadism. a5, b5, bishop d6. Very logical. What now? We are going e4, friends. Exactly. This is it. Let's go e4. But before we do this, I want to turn it into something a little bit more instructive. So here is a question for you. If you play e4, what is Black's response to it? Almost 100% guaranteed. Yeah, that's a weird Maroczy bind, right? Pawns were shifted one rank to the left. So if you play e4, they play what? They play e5. So what we really need to figure out is not that, oh, let's go e4. No, the question is, what do we do after e4, e5? Exactly. Graphite Hilux, knight b6 doesn't do anything. You just pull the queen back. And in fact, now black has lost control of the e5 square even more than before. And the knight is very badly misplaced here, so it doesn't help. e5 is definitely the move. 100%. The question is, what do we do after? No worries, that's what we are here for. So what do we do after e5? Which was played, by the way. There are myriads of good moves here for white, but I was very curious if we had the forethought of thinking about it in a proactive fashion. Super bind with d5. Well, the problem is that d5 actually releases the bind because now both these three pieces have easy access to c5. So now it's not that great. In fact, here the engine claims that after pawn a4, quite a surprising move, black is doing actually reasonably well. With knight b6 to come, and then queen here, bishop c5, and all of a sudden we are getting invaded on the dark squares. So yeah, you don't need to clamp down on c6 any more than what you are already doing, because c6 is impossible. So this is an overkill that releases a fair few dark squares. Likewise, take is one of the moves that I dislike the most, because after take, now we have sort of traded in a way that activated black's pieces. That being said, I think after f4 black is still in serious trouble here, but I don't know if I would play like this. Karyakin, well, he got a FIDE ban because he decided to march in every single Putin event, and I think he went a bit over the top with that, and yeah, FIDE decided to shut him down a little bit. So he's not playing anywhere else but in Russia. So the correct move, or correct moves, are the ones that retain the status quo and just improve the position. So such moves would be rook d1, pawn a4 is sensible, and Erwin just played h3 to deny any knight g4 shenanigans, which is also very instructive. What you want to observe here is that de is going to backfire really badly on black, because after knight e5, which is typically something that people love to do, because, oh, look at that, it's a tempo on the queen. No, it's not, because you already see that f4 is going to kick you in the face like mad. So we just play queen e2, and yeah, this is what I like to call in chess pseudo activity, right? So it feels like the black pieces are getting activated. And the truth is that actually it's the opposite, because now I have got knight f5 pending, f4 pending, everything. Knight c6, bishop c5 is pending. Like, all of these black pieces are loose. There is no coherence, cooperation amongst the black pieces. And this is already looking pretty bad. So h3 played, rook b7 played. One of the best part of this game is the absolute tragedy of the a8 rook that went to a7, now to b7, but very clearly would love to be in one of these squares. Bishop e3. Lami just slowly and gradually improves the position. It's very impressive to see that he's playing an exchange down, but he's playing it as if he was 2 pawns up, right? Just casually building. Because black has no way to do anything meaningful / aggressive. Yeah, it's just smooth sailing with white on the back of a fundamentally sound positional opening and structure. Really nice stuff. Okay, let's go. Rook e8, a4. No rush. One of the most important rules of these types of positions is that you don't want to rush. Before you go in for the kill, optimize everything, because black is incredibly passive. According to the machine, the knight take was better, but I don't mind bishop takes either. And that was a very, very serious mistake. What should we do now? For the record, this tactic was missed by Lami. Hey, Lauren. I'm glad you liked the game that I rather the video that I released today on YouTube. So what is the Tactico? Oh, Trihog on YouTube is already killing it. But Twitch is still figuring it out. Knight g5, that's hanging. a4 allowing bishop b4. Good question. The reason why that's the case is because the bishop on b4 is not really hurting us too much. And yeah, this leads to a positional collapse of take, f4, e5, and everybody is dying. Yeah, bishop b4 abandons the e5 square too badly. And you definitely do not want to give up both bishops anyway, so yeah. So anyway, knight e4, bishop takes g7, guys, is the tactic that we are all missing. And if they take the pawn, the bishop rather, we take the knight. If they take the knight first, then of course bishop takes back and we are golden. Was missed. So it took back. Rook takes. What do we do now? Very cool move. I'm playing knight g5 now. What is black's only legal move against knight g5? I'm curious if anyone can find it. Because it looks like it's a knockout. In fact, I'm going to give it away. Knight g5 was not played. According to the engine, it's best. Marginally better than what was played. So what is the black's only response to this? Rook d4. I don't know, man. Rook d4, queen f7 here, and then bishop b7 looks fatal. But good guess, actually. Knight e5, folks, is the move that we are all missing. Exploiting the pin, defending the pawn. But to be fair, after queen d5, we have got the same comical effect that we have, I think, occurred in the game, with a few too many rooks hanging. That's a big ouchie. I don't know why he didn't do it. He played queen d5 right away. Maybe he thought that this move was smarter. And now, What do we do now? Any takers? Nocturnal! Thank you, buddy. Please share my channel amongst your fellow Indians. I don't have enough Indian viewers. Knight h4, the creative chimpanzee, beautiful. b7 is on, knight f5 incoming. Marvelous stuff, marvelous stuff. Knight jump, but this is a different one. Knight g5 is far less effective because we are not attacking anything meaningful, right? Welcome in, Ryan. But with knight h4, now we are introducing another very cool idea, knight f5. Rook b6. Now this is super typical. When you are down an exchange and you find your position to be utterly miserable, trying to give the exchange back and lessen your pain is a very common strategy. And most frequently, the best response you will find in such cases is that we completely ignore the counter offer and we just carry on with our plan and utilize the far better bishop for greater purposes than taking a useless rook. Rook e6. And bang. Whoa, Lauren! Way too kind, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How's it cooking, Lauren? Yeah, this is already resignable. It's utter misery. See, now she just can't wait to throw away at least one of the exchanges. And she's going quite smart about it, by the way, because she wants to create also a situation where at least there are opposite colored bishops. So that means that she may be able to create some threats on the dark squares. But of course, our good friend Erwin Lami wasn't born yesterday either. And he goes like, no, I want to be an exchange down all game long. Give me that. Now, this is inaccurate, but I think he was actually having too much fun. The engine wants the similar idea with knight f5. So actually, his concept was brilliant. He just chose the wrong move order according to the machine, where we still want to be an exchange down and bully our opponent into pretty much oblivion. Yeah, so we have got multiple threats here, but the main one is potentially just piling up on the pawn. This is so filthy, man. Like, doing this to a lady, not very ladylike. And that was a terrible blunder, because that was the square that the rook needed to cover f7. So, for example, rook f6, g4. And simply you want to play g5, bishop d5, and just, yeah, carnage city. How close are we to the six-pack? Well, started off well, man, and now I feel like I'm hitting a plateau. So, and I have been working out like my life depended on it. Jesus, man. Honestly, I don't know if I will pull it off, but the journey would be worth it. However cliched it may sound. So yeah, this is proof. Dirty. Alright, so bishop f6. Now what is the direct punishment of this? what should we do? Knight 8-6. Xenom, I will be honest with you. I don't know if I'm in calorie deficit, so which is very difficult to lose weight without being in calorie deficit. But I cut back a fair bit on the calories, and I am doing a lot more than I usually would. So I should be pretty close to it at least. And yes, Knight 8-6, friends. That is the way we roll. Knight 8-6. King G7 or H8, it doesn't matter. Oh no, I actually played Bishop D5. My bad. But Knight 8-6 would have been better. Having said that, there is a very nice way to demonstrate what the problem is with this, which fully justifies his decision. So what's cooking here, guys? Bishop takes f7 is almost as sexy as the streamer himself. Likewise, Knight h6 check also works because of queen takes, then check and mate. Give me a sec. Need to talk to mom. Give me a sec, guys. Anya, ne nagyon készüljél ebédre, mert a Lamina meghívta a brigádot. Mondom, ne nagyon készüljél ebédre, mert a Lamina meghívta a lányokat. Nem, hanem mondom a lányoknak ne készülsél. Elmentek. Alrighty. No, I was talking Hungarian, but it didn't quite get through apparently. Rightio, so Bishop D5. Queen D8 played. Yeah, I'm well aware of that head of dog, which is why I almost completely cut out all sugars and crap from my diet, but it's still proving to be very difficult. NGL. So tuck. And what now? What now, ladies? Pretty much every legal move wins, but what is the winningest? Yes, exactly. Bishop e4. YouTube chat is for the rescue, guys. Bishop e4. Rook b8 played. And this is where you need to not be very hasty, because right now we don't have good knight moves. Because wherever the knight goes, I will play queen e7, and that covers the mate. And you really do not want this queen to come to these e7. So for example, knight d6, queen e7. And we made ourselves look like complete clowns. In fact, black is better here. So you really need to ensure that you use this knight to keep black out of the vital dark squares, because our only means to control the dark squares is the knight. And so he just king g2, removing the king from all checks and enjoying black's misery. Rook b6. And here came the last very sadistic idea. The engine would want to just play here g4. Which is quite sadistic too, by the way. And that was knight d4, creating a mate threat. And then going like, watch a rook! Now this is filthy! Absolutely filthy! Look at that rook. This is dirt, man. You don't do this to a lady. Especially not someone like Divya. This guy is so mean. Look at that rook. The poor soul kept on playing chess. Well, kept on playing moves, but after a while she realized that this is not going anywhere good. I don't know if I would have taken this, by the way, because this releases the rook from the cage, right? But he did do that because now the a-pawn is completely unstoppable. King e4. Now the knight returns to its glorious post. And off we go. Book, 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 book. And that was the final nail on the in the coffin. White has got 47 connected pass pawns. And it's all gonna be over. Knight h6 asks the YouTube chat. At which point did we won instead of 95? What? When did we play 95? We didn't play 95. I'm so confused. What? Yeah, sorry, I don't get what you want to ask. Yeah, I don't know what that question meant. Yeah, exactly. I don't. In order to play knight e5 instead of knight f7, the knight would have had to be on h6, and that was never a scenario. All right, good ladies and gentlemen. I would like to invite you gently to consider the fact that I regularly provide game analysis. And the conditions are very well known if you type this. Knight h6 right here. Yeah, bishop back. I don't see. Yeah, like we just invited the rook. Best we can do is knight back, yeah? But now black has queen f8, maybe rook g6. No joy. No joy whatsoever. Yeah, this is a nasty feeling when you lose a game like this. Alright, no one wants the game analyzed. What do we do then? I was thinking about playing some Blitz on my other account, but I don't think I want to do that really. Yeah, some of my famous studies. Right, you know what? There's a lovely lady who is meant to be in the house by now who sent me on WhatsApp a puzzle. And this lovely lady wants us to solve this puzzle. And so instead of me solving this puzzle, you guys are gonna do it. Sounds good? Okay, this is how it goes. Are we ready? All right. I think I have got everything. Yes, I do. Okay, this is pretty decent. This is pretty decent. I definitely have not shown this before. Egan 0121. Is it a mating puzzle? I would prefer not to tell. So white to move and be a rock star. This is what we want to do here, folks. That's all I'm going to give you. And I'm very curious to see how we perform. And since I'm being my usual dirty self, the ominous monkey, welcome in. I am not interested in one moves. Give me lines. Mech Tibbers. You are close. Oh my goodness! Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a very, very highly esteemed guest in the house. A lady who has it all. The looks, the wit, the wisdom, and the chess playing strength. Shout out to the legend herself. Welcome in, Radha. So, this evil lady has given us this puzzle and now she's watching live as we're struggling to solve it. Well, I already have, but let's see if you guys can pick up the tempo. Twitch chat is absolutely not contributing at all. Knight ED bishop c7 is a really, really sad attempt at winning the queen, but I have knight e4 there, right? We need to go for Matutski, ladies. Matutski. Matutski. Yeah, bishop f6 I would consider it to be a very unlikely first candidate because it kind of helps black to coordinate pieces a lot better, and also it creates an evacuating path for the black king. Egan, if you have a game to analyze, I'm all up. As you guys always know, I'm definitely keen on analyzing. Wow, what a great lady. The greatest. Whoa, Egan coming in with the goods, baby. Bring it. Bring it. Shout out to Egan. Creative chimpanzee. D5 is a very, very strong idea, but after knight e5, the salt in your tears is going to be felt across the planet. I was trying to say something big, but it didn't come out right. Again, I have got your game. You will be subjected to some torture very soon. In fact, I'm loading it up on the screen already. So, folks, haven't we had... Woo! Plushes with the subby as well. Ladies, it's raining subs today. Is it because I'm so smart or because I'm so good looking? Okay, it's a Dutch word. What is a Dutch word? Oh, Egan or Eigen. I see. Well, it could be German too, based on the spelling. So, folks, we are doing an absolutely miserable job at solving this puzzle. And what really upsets me is that no one is doing what everyone should be doing, which is start with checks. And yet no one looked at knight d5 check as a starting move. And after knight d5, it's Matutski here. And after e d5, we have got a very sexy mate. Check, which is a double check. King d6, double check again. Because we like the party when there are multiple participants in a party. King e7 and bishop d6, a third double check. Because we like to be like a broken record. Shout out to the lovely Radha for sending this to us. Yeah, this is just basic calculation, guys. And a beautiful line opening introductory move, and then the Carnage City soon to follow. Alright, I wonder if we should reward Radha for this beautiful puzzle by analyzing one of her games too on stream. How do Aussies mate? Yeah. In more days than one, I would say, mate. Matey! Don't get too dirty. Alright, so we are going to now engage with this marvelous game that Egan or Egan sent us. What we want to first of all figure out if Egan is white or black in this contest. You are black. You are behind the dark forces. Alright, let's see how we roll. So e4, c5, d6, knight c6. Wait. Okay, I have got questions, Egan. Because we are already going slightly inaccurate here. So, what line of the Sicilian do we play, Egan? Like, what are you hoping to get by playing knight c6 here? I'm confused. But then why are you playing d6? That doesn't make any sense. That's what decelerates the dragon. It's like you just cut off one wing of the dragon. Right, but if you want to play classical, then you should play knight f6 first, forcing knight c3 and then knight c6. Because if you play knight c6 first, then you allow them to play c4 to go back to the Maroczy bind. Yeah, Infinite, chuck in the puzzle by all means. But right now I am busy going through this game. Okay, so now we are back in classical. Bishop e2. And now we play g6, so we are turning it into a dragon, which actually now has two proper wings. Awesome. Okay. Bishop e3, bishop g7, queen d2, oh Lord Jesus, knight g4. Now, I don't mind knight g4 here, but why don't we call this a really good dragon and just castle? This would be my provocation to you, because a regular dragon would have f3 and bishop c4. Instead, our opponent betrayed a great deal of lack of knowledge, beautiful English there, by playing bishop e2. So why don't we call it and then go d5 next? I don't really like this. The Yugoslav setup scares me. I love objective chess evaluations. Is this position great for black? Yes. That's a chess evaluation. Ooh, I'm scared. That's not. Okay. By the way, what do you call this? If this is not a Yugoslav setup, remind me quickly. So, you haven't avoided what you wanted to avoid is what I'm trying to say. But alright, let's go. Look, c8, decent. I would already have considered the 95, by the way. But look, if you want to be a good chess player, or if you want to grow as a chess player, then you need to get into the habit of being able to compare things and then evaluate them. For example, what Jazination told you, that a good Yugoslav looks like this. This is a retarded Yugoslav, and as such, you should very much embrace it. Anyway, so yeah, I would have preferred here, I think, knight e5, because the greatest benefit of the absence of the bishop is that you can go for the dirty knight c4. Yeah, when a horse comes in your face, it's never a pleasant experience, and that's what white is experiencing here. And with rook c8, you give them an opportunity to dodge that bullet by taking, and then neutralizing your dragon bishop by playing bishop d4. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I'm glad at least one person laughed. King b1 played, so now knight e5 should be... yeah. No, Lauren, certainly not. Certainly not. Oh, man. A6. No! Why, brother? Why? Actually, are you a brother? Or a sis? I hope you are a brother, because otherwise I need to very quickly revert that whole horse story. "40-year-old bloke." OG. Alright, listen up. Here is an issue that I always love to highlight for players above a certain level who try to attack in the Sicilian. So you played rook c8, right? I would ask you, why did you do that? Nero the Proud, you are most welcome. And you would tell me, because it stands well on the C file. I would then poke and prod and ask questions like, okay, but how exactly? Because when people say pressure the c3 knight is when I fall off this chair. Like, what does that mean? Explain that to me like I was 3 years old, how this pressures anything. That it pressures the c3 knight, that translates to me to, I don't even know. It's pie in the sky, man. Like, how? What does that mean? What moves can you play that would either justify what you're saying or demonstrate the idea or prove your point? Like, how? Like, what does it mean? Someday, tick, boom, 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 boom. Definitely boom, boom. I approve of boom, boom. And we win, I also approve of that. So now we're getting there. So you get my point. There is no substance behind the move. And more importantly, there is no substance to your thinking either. So now you are telling me that your plan was a6, b5, b4. And that's exactly what I expected you to say, because here I come for you, and you're not going to like the sound of this. If this is your plan, not a good plan by the way, but that we are going to put aside for now, then why ever are you playing rook c8? Like, hello? My classic example of you telling me you're hungry, restaurant there, and we go to the car dealership. What are we gonna eat there, bruv? So there's a conflict here between what you want to do and what you are actually doing. Because if your plan is a6, b5, then everything you do that is not a6, b5 is wasting your time. Right? And again, so I really don't want to make you feel bad about this, but I want you to take the most away from it. So I will go full coach. You thought it stood well here with the c3, g7 bishop. Fine. I'm going to say, okay, how? Like, how are you going to exploit these two so that you can justify this as a move? And I'm not even suggesting that your thinking is wrong, but what you are doing here is that your thinking is 98% airy-fairy concepts rather than exact, precise moves. So if you tell me, oh, this and this super pressure, fine. How? Like, I'm gonna do this. Show me where the pressure is as a result of your last move. What can you do now that you couldn't do before that is going to make your position better? Because if your answer is a6, I'm gonna be like, well, then this did bugger all, didn't it? So your plan, or rather your moves here, are incoherent. And you cannot afford playing incoherently in a position where you are supposedly attacking. So if you play rook c8, to me that wants to play knight e5, knight c4. So now we should go knight e5. The point I'm making, and Creative Chimpanzee, you are asking a very good question. Suppose the plan is a6, b5. Where do you put the rook? Nowhere. That is exactly the point. That you don't know where the rook belongs. Because that's going to be depending on what happens. So let me show you a scenario to demonstrate this. I don't know, I'm going to play a few lemons. So I'm just running like an idiot, yeah? So have a look at this position. Would you put the rook on c8 right now? No way, right? Like, almost certainly our rook is gonna be needed either here or here. Yeah, so let's say I keep on going crazy, and I go b3. What will white do? Take a3. Right? Now you can't wait to sack something on a3, like knight e5, knight c4, sack, bring the rook. Rook on c8 in this structure, worst piece ever. Like, absolutely nothing I can do here. Right? Rook on b8. What am I doing? Absolutely nothing. So the point is that if you want a pawn storm, almost certainly you don't want to commit to the rook, because we have no idea how white is going to respond to this. But this plan, in my opinion, is fundamentally flawed because it's way too slow. And I'd much rather do knight e5, which is perfectly in line with what you did before, which was to eliminate the bishop, which was responsible for covering c4. Now we provoke b3, and now it is extremely likely that your rook is going to stand best on c8, because we have softened up the c3 knight. So queen a5, rook c8 looks like a very handy plan. I mean, knight e5 is the most common plan in Dragon. Okay, let's move on. So we played rook c8, we played a6. I'm not gonna say for the 5th time that I very strongly dislike it. Knight c6, yeah. Rook takes. Look, honestly, I don't know how I would have taken back. I dislike all of them. Yep, that's exactly the issue. And oh boy. f6. Ouch. Yeah, so that tells everything us about how ineffective all of this was, right? And it's interesting to note here, by the way, that a lot of players would struggle to identify that the reason why we ended up in this absolute cluster disaster was exactly these two moves. Right? So this is what has led to this catastrophe, is that we were playing very tentative, meaningless moves. The F sound, fiasco. I actually wanted to say fiasco, believe it or not. But then I thought that, yeah, you will probably need to redrop it because the chat has progressed way too much. I honestly, actually, that said I wanted to say fiasco. I'm not lying. Absolutely 100%. Right. Okay, let's go. Alright, we completely busted here, so I'm going to refrain from too much heat. Having said that, I actually quite like what you're doing now, which is that we're finally bringing pieces in the action, so we have got some threats. The irony here is that your opponent overreacted here. There are multiple ways to really, really seriously hurt black here. My favorite one is to totally ignore this and just play h5. The idea being that after b4, white just plays knight d5, bishop d5, e d5, queen d5, h6, and we can put the pieces back in the box. Oh, the worst is yet to come. Oh, rightio. Let's go, baby. Okay, this is the biggest sigh of relief ever, right? Because now we can't get mated. Although some would argue that that's a bad thing. Lack of mating. You have the two bishops. And for the time being, your structure is intact. Let's see how we went. Bishop d5. I don't mind this move. But I would have considered the king f7 as well. And just hold the fort. But let's go. Take. Rook c7. Yeah, I'm a little bit displeased by the fact that this d5 pawn creates this awkward bind on the e6 square, and also the pawn on e7 is backward. But let's not worry too much yet. Whoa. Okay. Castles. Wow, this is a really cool move. I love this move, buddy. Because now we are, for the first time, creating a threat. I love it. This is brilliant. Wasn't there a rook sack instead of b5? Sorry, I caught up with the chat too late. Instead of b5. Oh, instead of b4. No, there wasn't, as you can see. Oh, Rada keeps on entertaining us. No, not this one. This one only can be displayed Rada on the stream if we get to analyze one of your games as well. Alright. Oh no, body! Oi, why not rook? Why the pony? We've already discussed that horses can do dirty things. Like, explain yourself, man. Why not with the rooksy? Oh, man. Why? Why did you do that to me? The Turm needed to go to f6, which sounds freakishly close to fun activities in German. Alright, Egan, you have got explanations to do. Why are we capturing this poor soul with the pony when we had the rock? Better pawn structure. Oh boy, but what about the rook? So this is something that players in rook endings very often misunderstand. That they play this move on account of improving the pawn structure. Debatable whether it does it or not. At the cost of completely butchering their rook. Like, you may have gained a slightly better structure at a cost of reducing your rook to, yeah, a disabled bystander at the best of times. There's a dead ant in my keyboard. Well, there are a few keys missing from my keyboard. It's a giant one too. Jeez, this would have given me some nasty bites if it hadn't died. Anyway, anatomy lesson over. So yeah, rook takes, my friend, rook takes, because now we are hitting the pawn. And by the way, here is a lesson for you, friend, that you want to take away from this. This improves your pawn structure and white's, because f3 is no longer on an open file. So with that being said, what you basically did is that you scored a 0, neither positive nor negative, in the pawn structure department, and you just gave up your rook. Right? That's like taking out the hottest girl in town to a date, having a successful date, and you finish it off with a, oh, I just wanted to be friends, by the way, and walk off. Like, hello? Who does that? other than chess players, right? Like, that's not how we roll. That's phone number. Let's meet up again. I really enjoyed my time. Looking forward to the next one, right? That's how we walk away from that. Like, you are friend zoning the lady. That's like, oh man, that's what you did to your rook here. Right, okay, so we friend zone the rook. Let's move on. Oh boy, this has gone so quickly from hero to zero. Oh my god, and now next date is now also looking, oh man. Wow. Okay. Yeah, alright, so you took back with the pawn and then we played just about 3 meaningless rook moves. Now, chat, I have a question for you because we want some clarity here. What is black's most logical rook move in this position? Rook. No, the ant is well and truly dead. Tactics says rook e7. Now, I am also a team rook e7. So, if you are not a team rook e7, can you please explain to me what the heck is cooking? Why would you go to g7? I so don't get this. And I also don't understand any other propositions, by the way. Not that I want to be a smart aleck, but rook here, king f7, rook here wins the rook. So we need to address the problem of this rook, right? Which is the only open file on the chessboard? Sorry, 2 open files. This and this. I don't think I need to explain why we don't go rook h7. That leaves rook e7. So I am playing this unless it loses by force. Check, king he, check, I escaped. Case closed, rook e7 played. Why would you put it on one of the most passive squares on the board? Oh, Herbert in the house! Actually, rook c5 gets credit too because it is also active. So, shout out for that. By the way, what the hell are you doing awake at this hour? Also, you haven't updated me about your little project, if you still remember what that is. Anywho, rook g7 played. Ouchie. Rook d7 played. Another ouchie. King c1. King g7, alright. You are still okay. You are still okay. But now we only have one legal move. Who can find me the best black move here? Very difficult. This requires now very good endgame technique. Like, seriously good technique. King b8 played. Shout out. Let me see if anyone got this right in the YouTube chat. Who played this game, asks YouTube. Egan from the Twitch chat. Rook h8 is very subtle to lose the rook. Rook e8 is the correct move, because what we need to do is activating your pieces. And since you cannot activate the king, you activate the rook, which is going to attack a pawn on one square or the other. And after rook a6, rook e3, in this position, all of a sudden black is winning. Because two connected passes. The engine doesn't agree with this statement, but the engine doesn't know how to play chess. I would definitely take black here. 100%. Every day of the week. And if king d2, then you go rook e5. So yeah, I don't understand why you would play king b8 here, like forcing your opponent to take a pawn that they wanted to take anyway. How does that make any sense? That was a very odd decision. Okay, so 5 moves later we play the correct move. Yeah, the real pity is that now rook e5 doesn't work anymore. Yeah, king b8 was not pretty. Yeah, we're completely cooked here. Yeah, your opponent hasn't heard of the Tarrasch rook rule either. And here, like, rook b6, hello? Oh look, this is completely over too. Oh! Wow! That is brilliant! What a cheeky bastard! I love you, man! I mean, unfortunately it doesn't work, because I don't have to take it. But boy, was that a pretty attempt. I thought that you were gonna try the check, but unfortunately that's no longer a stalemate because there is an escape square here. Oh well. Yeah, my dude. We have a lot to learn, that's for sure. The rook ending technique was really messy. But I was more upset about the tentative way how you play this early middle game, man. Like, you need to go after stuff like this. It's just, you can't miss stuff like that. It's a very appealing middle game scenario in a dragon where your opponent is missing the bishop on e2. Oh, for frick's sakes, really? I bet my life on it that this puzzle is a Fritz Giggold puzzle. Yeah, I have seen this before. Alright, folks, we're going to call it a day. We are going to call it a day here. Thing there. Anyway, thanks a lot, folks. Have a good one. I will be back sometime, but I never know when, so... Who do we want to raid? We will raid now. Today. Have a good one, folks. Love you all.